Hello truckers, it is a beautiful day for trucking in the USA. Today I'm up in Great Falls, Montana. This load is going to be picking up in Williston, North Dakota. We're bouncing out of here. Freight's been a little bit slow here this week. I've been trying to get going for a few days now, and it just hasn't quite worked out. So I thought I was going to load a load yesterday. It could not get over the top of the new trailer, so that precluded me from being able to take it because it was a combine they had to roll it on. And in all actuality, we probably could have loaded it, but it would have been kind of Mickey Mouse. So we had another one of our trucks that was set to come down and do it if I couldn't. So I just gave it to him, and I wound up sitting all day today because of it. I lost, yesterday and today because of it, but sometimes that's what you got to do for safety's sake. So right now we're headed on out there. This is going to be the first load for the new trailer here. I'm really excited about it. I mean, this adventure has been a long time coming. It's I couldn't be more excited right now. It's almost a little surreal at this juncture. I mean, it's been such an undertaking to make all this happen, and for everything I've done here in the last few weeks, I added it up today, and it was just a tad under $100,000 by the time you consider everything I got done to this truck and the trailer and the axle and everything we've got coming for it. So pretty excited about it. This is going to change the game quite a bit, because this before my I could go 115,000 or so, and that's about the most I could get on everything, just with the way we had it all set up. And now with this setup the way it is, I can go
in 2 miles.
In most
take
states
exit 280
about 132.5
right to Central Avenue West.
And being able to go 132.5 is awesome, because with my empty weight, which is 47,750, I will be able to go 84,750 will be how much I can haul. So that's pretty awesome, being able to put it upwards of 80,000 pounds on the deck. And then once I get the pin-on axle, that'll give me another 20,000. So at that point, I'll be at what's the capacity of the trailer, which this trailer is rated for 100,000 pounds and 10 feet. So this is it's exciting. It's the start of something new here. So I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna kick her on down. I got to stop up here at about another 113 miles at Hardin. I'm gonna stop at the Walmart there, which has been one of my regular stops, surprisingly, even though it's way up there on Highway 2. And gonna stop there and get some supplies, so I'm all set up to run the next couple of weeks. I need to get a couple of t-shirts and a couple of pairs of pants too, so I'm going to do that.
On the right to Central Avenue West.
We're going to get out here and put the hammer down, get over there. We're supposed to, the company said we'd load about 1 o'clock tomorrow. I really want to see if I can make it all the way over there tonight, because if I can be sitting in Williston tonight when I stop, and then maybe get up around 9, 10 in the morning, go over and get loaded, that'd be a beautiful thing. Don't even know what it is I'm getting yet. It's probably going to be some kind of a track hose, what I was told, but we don't have the information. We just got the confirmation, and then everybody was going home for the day, so it was kind of a last minute thing to get me a load, because it's like 6 p.m. right now that I'm rolling out of Great Falls, so it's it'll take a little time to get on over there, but
take exit 280 on the right to Central Avenue West.
This thing just does not want to let me talk today, does it? It just squawk, 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 squawk every time I try talking. But the new 770's been working good. I really do need to film a review of this thing, because I know there's a lot of you guys out there that are looking at the 770. So if you want to know about if you have questions about it, put those in the comments below on this. And I'll start working on getting a video review of the 770 put together. Now that I've run it a little while, I've run about 4 loads with it. I'd like to have 6 or 8 underneath it before I really start to give you guys solid opinions on it.
Turn right on Central Avenue West.
We'll kind of go from there. I'll have to show you some of the little tricks that I've come up with, not trips, tricks that I've come up with for this thing. I'm already loaded here. I just loaded over at Ritchie Brothers here in Williston, and it was an absolute mud hole over there, so we're going over right now to get the truck washed. And then once the truck's washed, then we'll be running back on out of here. There's just massive traffic jam here right now that I'm sitting in the middle of. I'm hoping it clears up because I'm running out of daylight in a hurry, and I am not legal to run at night, so we have got to get this thing, you know, up and gone here real fast. So we're kind of just waiting on that. But this is going to be quite the adventure for the program here. You remember a few episodes ago, I pulled that track hoe out of Williston, just like this one, except it was the Cat 329, I think it was. And that one was about a 70,000 pound machine as well. So this one is substantially a little bit heavier than that, actually. It's been just kind of a rainy day today. It was a real mess getting loaded. Everything in there at Ritchie Brothers was just a mud pit. Just a giant mud pit. So I'm actually kind of glad it's still raining though, because it's knocking a lot of the mud I got and everything back off. I'm still going to have to get the truck washed here, but at least it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So right now we got 1,130 miles to go. There's possibly a little bit of drama tomorrow. I don't know what's happening in Montana yet. If we can run straight on through and come out the other side, or if we're going to have to go up over 200 and come down the Idaho Panhandle that way, because there's that big rock slide out there, and they keep knocking down the width restriction of the lane, because we got a letter from the state a couple months ago saying they weren't letting anything through that was, you know, over 10 feet wide. Actually, it was on the 20th, I think it was. But now the website says up to 16 feet, so not entirely sure what the situation is there. I'll know that in a couple hours, so we'll have to see what happens there. But alright, so it is day 2. I'm in Billings, Montana. We just got done getting the truck cleaned. I got a shower. Dexter got combed. We got him a new fancy seat cover there to make it a little easier to clean up his seat. And got the truck washed. Had to wash the mud off the machine. I wish I'd have got some video of that machine before the wash, because man, it got just crazy, insanely muddy, and I really didn't like dragging it all the way to Billings.
1/4 mile.
But I had
left
to,
on
so
I-90 West.
I started talking, and she's just got to get in my way and yell at me. Anyways, so yeah, it was pretty bad though. I mean, everything out there in Williston was just a mud hole, and the truck wash in Williston was closed. Why, I don't know. I mean, I'd have normally never come to Billings, but Billings is the closest place I could have got it washed off. So it cost right around $200 to get everything cleaned up. It was pretty expensive. So, and now I'm headed down, gonna go eat dinner with Dad tonight. I'm gonna spend the night in Livingston, and then we'll head on out to the coast tomorrow, and then hopefully get this delivered Saturday. So that's not too bad. I mean, 4 days under this
Turn left on I-90 West.
And then I can be ready to go wherever I need to come Monday morning, so that'll be nice. Well, good morning. It is now day 3 of this load. We're between Three Forks and Townsend. Just got done climbing up the hill there, fixing to drop off the other side. Truck's performing beautifully. I couldn't be happier right now. Went over the Bozeman Hill this morning, which where I park is right at the base of the Bozeman Hill there. So I never did see full speed as I was leaving, but I was able to get up to about 55 or so before I really started climbing. Most of the way up the hill ran anywhere from 41 to 48 until we finally got to the steep part up at the top, and then she was down to about 26 miles an hour. Now that's the slowest I saw, so was actually really happy with that performance. I mean, the truck did exceptionally well considering the climb. So was really happy to see that. It looks like this is going to be a really well set up here. It's working great for me, so I'm really pleased. I was a little worried I was going to have to change gear ratios in the rear end. It's got 370s in it now. I was worried I was going to have to go to like a 410, which is going to slow the truck down substantially. But it seems to be working just fine, which I got 24.5s, but they're 24.5 low pros. So it's doing a really good job. I don't really see any reason to need to change anything now. I'll probably stick with this because it gives me about the right combination of speed. I can run 68, 70 miles an hour all day long. It's doing good over the hills. I think we're just going to continue to rock and roll with this, because even as I know as I get heavier, because I'm, you know, like 125,000 pounds right now, even as I continue to get heavier, I can see this thing just continuing to do a good job, because she just, you know, we're cooking right up the hill right now. I'm doing 56 climbing up the hill to Whitehall with about the 266 on I-90 now, and we're just trucking right along. I'm probably going to have to knock down another gear here. Now we're down to 55, 54. But, you know, the hill's getting fairly steep, and I think that we're almost to the summit right now. And then you drop down the other side into Whitehall, and then we'll be going over the Butte Hill there, over Homestake Pass. So that'll be a really good test of the truck too, seeing how it performs on that, because that is the tallest climb on this whole trip that I'm making here. So it'll be interesting to see how she does. I'm sure it's going to be a fairly slow climb up that, because that's anywhere from, I think, a 5 to a 6% grade the whole way up. So we'll just kind of be watching that. I'm not going to throw a camera on the outside. I thought about it, but we're just in a little bit of a time crunch right now. I need to get over to Spokane to the shop I'm using over there, you know, before they close, because we got to get the paint chip book out here and color match the paint on the trailer, because when I get the truck painted here, I don't know when the paint job's going to happen yet, but when I get it painted, we've got to you know, I'm going to match the truck to the trailer. I like the blue that the truck is now. I like the blue on the trailer a little bit more, so I think that's what we're going to wind up doing, is going to the blue on the trailer. So, you know, it's still a little bit up in the air, but we'll see. But yeah, right now we're just getting her done here. You know, I'm just incredibly pleased. She's performing really well. Now I have to shift back up into that gear again, but you know, walking up this at 55. A lot of times at, you know, 85,000, 90,000 pounds, this is about the same speed I'd be going up here. So I really don't have any complaints. She's doing incredibly well. Like I said, I was real worried I was going to have to change the gear ratio in the rear end, but Blue just seems to be clawing its way right up this hill. But I'll check back in with you guys here as we're going up the Butte Hill. We'll see how she does there. So here we are, we're getting ready to drop off the hill at Whitehall here, and taking it slow right from the top. You know, just being a little overly cautious with this, because this is the first time I've come off this hill this heavy. I've come off it over 100,000 before, about 110,000. I'm 125 now, so about 15,000 pounds heavier than I've ever done this. This is a hill that can get a lot of people in trouble. It's not that well marked. And the thing with this hill is it has a false bottom. It has an area in the middle of the hill where it levels out, and you'll think that you're all the way down the hill, and a lot of guys will let their trucks start rolling up there, and then you come around the corner and it just drops right back off again. So with that, got the dash cam kind of rolling to show you guys this. We're going to see how she holds right now. We're getting onto the grade now. About 23, 24 miles an hour, and she's rolling up on me fairly fast. I may have to get into the bottom side of the transmission here to get her to hold. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that since she's just running up on me so fast. I brought the speed down to about 18. I'm at the bottom side of that gear, and it's still pushing its way up pretty good. That shows how heavy I am here. Kind of neat in the dash cam footage. You can see on the mountain over here, there's a little bit of a spot where the light's shining through on the big mine up there. That's the Golden Sunlight Mine. And when I was a kid, I was up there several times with my dad. I remember being out there. I must have been like 10 years old or 8 years old when they wired that, and they were up there doing quite a bit of work. And I remember they didn't have enough guys, and he had me up there one afternoon. They're pulling this this big heavy cable. I think it was 400 MCM, just some really, I mean, that stuff's like this big around, and they were running 4 runs of it through a pipe, you know, 3 hots and a neutral. And what they had me doing is I was sitting there with a bottle of Tugger soap, squirting it into the pipe as they were pushing the wire in, and that was my job. I just take that bottle and squeeze the whole thing in until there was nothing left, and then I'd go grab another bottle and just keep going. And, you know, they were doing this really long run. I just remember it was this really kind of long, miserable job, but everybody was struggling and straining. I think I had the best job on all that, because all I had to do was squirt it with the tugger soap. And they were pulling on her pretty good when you do something like that. So you got one guy on one end running the tugger, and you know, then you got a couple guys pulling with him, and then you got the other guys forcing everything to the pipe. So it was quite an operation. See, this right here where I am now, I'm on the first stage of the Jake, and I'm doing about 15 miles an hour, and this is the false bottom right here. We're just rolling up and off this, and this is where a lot of guys get into trouble, because you can't see the bottom of the hill. There's a sign right here that says, you know, 6% for the next 6 miles, or excuse me, 6% for the next 1.5 miles. But the hill twists and winds as it goes down, and if you're not careful, man, it'll come out and bite you. I've seen a lot of trucks laid over on just this hill here, and not as bad as the Butte Hill when guys come running off it the way they do, but this one here can still be bad. But always kind of, because the story with the mine up there, always kind of have memories of that, because years later, when I was in high school, a lot of that stuff we put in, they tore it out and they redid a lot of stuff. And so I remember seeing stuff. It was kind of funny taking things out and seeing my dad's handwriting all over the inside of it. And, you know, I grew up around the electrical trade like that. And actually, that's it was working for my dad that my trucking career really started, because he used to have this. It was an '83 Chevy crew cab dually, and I loved that truck. I wish I could have got my hands on that one, but he sold it. And it was an '83 crew cab dually. It was a 454 four-wheel drive 4-speed truck, but it was a Silverado, and that was pretty rare to have the Silverado at the 4-speed. You had a lot of them with the automatic. Excuse me, but you didn't have so many of them with the 4-speed. And so I really liked that truck. It was a two-tone blue, good-looking truck, really good-looking truck. And he has actually the company that he used to own still owns the trailer. It's a 32-foot Blair, and I would run that thing all over the countryside delivering materials. Yeah, I was 15 years old. I was taking material as far as way like Great Falls and down to Billings and up to Harlowton, just doing all kinds of stuff like that, running all over the state for them. And then when I was like 17, I remember making a run. I went all the way down to the store they were doing in Denver, Colorado. And there was another run I did down to Cheyenne, Wyoming, to the Ross Dress for Less they were doing down there. And I also made a run down to Utah for them once to go pick up some stuff. And so, yeah, I put on a lot of miles. By the time I got into the trucking business, I had already, you know, done a whole lot of that. And I'm actually going to be talking about that a little bit more here, because there's one of my viewers sent in an email asking me for some advice on the trucking business and how to get into it, how to get started, where to do those things. So I'm going to start talking about my story. That'll be in another bit of a video, though. But as far as coming off the hill goes, yeah, we're ramping up pretty fast. I might, yeah, if I wasn't so close to the bottom already, I would probably drop another gear. She's pushing pretty hard coming off of this. I'm having to use the brakes fairly consistently. I think I could start walking it up now a little bit. But yeah, it's heavy. I need to. One of the things I'm probably going to want to wind up doing with this truck is, right now, I think it has the pack brake in it. I'm not entirely sure, but I had a pack brake in my first truck, and the pack brake is like PACCAR's version of the Jacobs brake. They're trying to save some money, and the thing's a piece of crap. The Jake on this truck is a little weak. I'll get the overhead run here pretty quick. We're going to get her turned up to a 550. And while we've got the valve covers off, I'm going to investigate that and see if it is the pack brake or if it is the Jacobs brake. If it is the pack brake, I'm going to have to go source a Jacobs brake for it. So we'll see what happens there. Might be able to get a hold of the shop that I got the truck from. We'll just have to see. I'm going to go up and get back into the top side of the transmission here. 19 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, 21. And she's just walking up fast. I can see the end of the hill from here. It's only about a half a mile away, so we're just going to go ahead and let it start walking up. And by the time we get down to the bottom of the hill, we should be doing highway speed again. But it gives you a real good idea how fast this thing will accelerate when you're coming off of this. It's heavy. I can really feel it. And so, kind of, in one way, I'm hoping that it has the pack brake, because that means that I can get a lot more performance out of the Jake. But in another way, I'm not, because it's expensive. The last time I looked into doing it, it was like $3,700 to convert it. It's a chunk of change, but you know, for that safety, I think it's worth it. So we'll just have to see. Absolutely beautiful morning up here though today. Absolutely beautiful. You couldn't ask for a nicer day. These are just, sometimes the springtime in Montana, when you get the real low overcast like this, the wind's not blowing, you can't ask for a nicer place to be. This is why I love it up here. And this is really one of my favorite times of year up here, because also this time of year you get some really impressive thunderstorms. I got to see a little bit of that, as you guys saw on the dash cam on the way out there. But it's just beautiful, you know, and I haven't really seen a whole lot of that yet this year. I saw it at night there, but in the daytime you just watch these monstrous thunderclouds just push in, and the ones that are the best are on a day when you've got just a gentle breeze and the clouds are just kind of pushing together and you're getting the thunder booming and a little bit of lightning, and oh, it's just a magnificent thing to watch. I can just sit there and watch it all day long. You know, it's one of the reasons I absolutely love Montana. And I've been a lot of other places, but that's one of the things I've always missed up here, are those springtime thunderstorms. Alright, here we are going over the Butte Hill, also known as Homestake, also known as Pipestone. It's got a couple of different names it goes by. Pretty good grade here. We're going to see how the truck does. I'm rolling up on the base right now. I'm excited to see how this is, because this is the hardest climb I will have on this trip. You know, look out, 4th of July, they're pretty good climbs, but they're not as high, they're not as intense as this. This is a really tall hill, and it's got a really good descent off the other side. The descent off of Lookout will actually be a little bit taller, a little bit more treacherous, because it does a twisty, windy. This one is pretty straightforward going this direction. So, anxious to see how the truck does. I got the dash cam rolling here, as you guys can see. We're going to burn on up this. Let's see how she does. So I'm going to start off by getting the engine fan on here, just getting her prepped, ready to run, keep her cool. It's only about 55 degrees outside today, so she shouldn't get too hot on me anyways, but we're going to make sure. This is going to be my first time going over the Continental Divide this heavy. And now we're just getting right down. There's this little downhill right before you get to the bottom of the climb, so I'm just going to have it floorboarded going down this, and then we're going to start climbing. I got the Jake off, cruise off. Let's see how she does here. 68 miles an hour at the base, 67. She's already climbing hard. Gonna grab the first gear. 62. She's heavy. Well, that was good news. My fenders are in. There's a chain up area right here. Back up 52 miles an hour. I'm actually gaining on another truck. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm pulling a jet motor, so he's not pushing it real hard. Down to 47, 46. Grab the next. 44. And go ahead and grab the next, because we're climbing hard now. 39, 38. So she's dragging her down pretty fast. Ooh, there's a Blackhawk. What the Army's out doing today. They got a lot of those that fly out of Helena, I know, the guard units up there. Just putting around, having fun. Now we're down to 30 miles an hour. Next gear. I'm in the high side of 5th now. Still scratching right along, running about 205 degrees, pulling hard. Next gear. 24 miles an hour. good at 24. About 1,650 RPMs here. If I have to go any lower than this, because I'm in the bottom side of 5th now, if I have to go any lower than this, I'm going to have to get into the bottom side of the transmission. So I'm hoping I can avoid that going up the hill. The guy with the jet motor, he kind of ran off in front of me, so that's good. I was worried about having to pass him, which you'd be surprised that I was actually catching him at the base of the hill there. Those things ain't but a couple of 1,000 pounds. I've hauled them before. Great loads. You throw 4 chains on them, 1 on each corner. You don't put anything on the unit itself. It's bolted into this cradle that sits there and hovers. And you just throw a tarp over the top of it, and on down the road you go. You gotta have a tarp for a while, but you can't have too much tension in the tarp. You gotta use bungees. You can't use a rope because the thing's got to be able to go up and down in the cradle. So we're up 25 miles an hour now. She's pulling right at 1,800 RPMs, dropping back to about 1,750 now. Getting into a little bit steeper section, it's kind of dragging her back down, but she seems to be doing really good. I'm hard after it. That's just beautiful up here. Keep forgetting to ask my grandpa to tell me the story again, but maybe we'll have to go do that one of these days here. I know he took, I don't know if it was the last train or one of the last trains over these tracks over here going over the Butte Hill. I don't know if he was on the last one or not, but he was an engineer for the BN here for a long time. And actually it's for the Northern Pacific then. He was a Northern Pacific man, so kind of neat how much family history I have around that railroad. My grandpa on the other side of the family, he worked there in the shops for years and years and years too. He retired as the foreman, so kind of neat to see. The truck's doing great. We're down to 22 miles an hour now, 1,550 RPMs. So we're at the bottom side of 5th here. I don't think I'm going to have to touch the bottom side of the transmission to go up. Probably will to come off though. And Butte Hill is one of those, can also kind of get you in trouble if you're not safe or if you're not watching it, because when you get up to the top, there's an area up on top where it kind of levels out. You can keep going fast again, and then you drop off the other side, and you know, all of a sudden you're speeding up. You got to get her slowed back down. Yes, thank you. That's what that noise was. The CD player is saying, "Oh, well, your buffer on your XM radio is full, so we're just going to start playing right in the middle of your video." Thank you, Sirius XM. So, temperature's holding. We're up to about 209 degrees now. So I can tell the new radiator is going to have to happen here pretty soon, but I got a little time before we absolutely have to do it, before it starts getting real warm outside. Need to get caught up a little bit, because I spent a lot of money to make this happen, as I told you guys before. What do you think, Dexter? Yes, I'm talking about you. He just rides so good in here. He's such a good boy. So, we're back up to 24 miles an hour, 1,650 RPM. Truck's just tugging her right up the hill here. I'm sure I got a line of traffic behind me because of the lane closure here, but not really anything can be done about that. I'm surprised nobody's yelling at me on the CB. I've got a real good line of traffic back there. It's a good quarter mile behind me now. This is here, I guess there's a big thing between the Montana Grizz and the Bozeman Bobcats there. The Grizz are out of Missoula, the Bobcats are out of Bozeman. They, I guess, do a thing with hauling the trophy up here because this is like halfway between Bozeman and Missoula. And so they do a thing with the trophy when they play off every year, and it depends on who the trophy's going to go to. Because I think with the little signboard up at the top of the hill here said, it's been about a year since I've read that thing. I should probably stop one of these days and take a look at it. I don't have time to do it on this trip because, like I said, we got to get out to Spokane. We've been moving a whole lot of Humvees. I think they're getting ready to sell all of them off. Because all those have all the armor and everything stripped off of them. Those Z just look so chill right now. Oh. Or is that the spot? Oh, yes, yes. Good big ham. And this Ford Ranger behind me is insisting on riding 5 feet off my ass. Behind him just riding off of his ass. And it gets me that people have to do that. I mean, there's one lane through here. I'm not able to go any faster than what I am. It looks like all they're doing up here is running the street sweepers, getting all the dirt cleaned off the hill, because they sand the snot out of this in the winter. But it appears to be what they're doing. I kind of feel bad for making everybody wait on me, because I'm certainly not the fastest here, but I guess we got another gear there. I'm up to 24. Ah, well, maybe not. Yeah, I think we can hold it. Yeah, that's all they're doing this morning is sweeping. Oh, dude, what are you doing? Truck's performing really well, though. I could have never pulled this with red like this. Dead trees in here. That beetle kill is just, you've got these beetles in the trees out here, and they come up and they attack them, and they're just killing them like crazy. And it's a bad thing because now you have all these dead trees up here, and if this catches on fire, it's going to be bad. He's got all this fuel out here, especially once they start falling down. They really need to come out here and cut a lot of these trees that are, you know, dead and dying down, because it's just a forest fire waiting to happen here. Yeah, you guys can see in the dash cam off over here. Those are the railroad tracks that come up off the top of here. And I don't know if the old trestles are still there or not. Now we're up 30 miles an hour. Get the next gear here. Oh yeah. Come on, Blue. Oh, nope. Just teasing us. Alright, back into lower gear. And it started getting steeper there. What the hell is this? This idiot just passed me inside the construction zones. Untitled people, man. Look at that. You know, I'm not like purposefully trying to slow everybody down here. I don't have an option to let anybody pass. You just passed, you know, people. Up on top, this is where you can run kind of fast. Truck's doing really good though. I couldn't be more pleased. Start to get around this bend here. This is where I tend to start letting it roll up. I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to go ahead and pop it up into the high side of the transmission. As you can see the bottom of the hill from here. It is a little steep in here. The GPS is showing negative 7% grade. Miles an hour now. Fan off. And there's the chain removal area. That means we are down the bottom of the hill. So thank you everybody for watching this portion of the video. All other side. We're on the west side already. I stopped there, got myself some lunch, and it's just a beautiful day. I mean, just a beautiful day. Although the only problem is daylight today. You know, it's really nice. Wind's not blowing. And it's just one of those days where I just want to kick my feet up and relax and go to sleep. And oh man, I stopped in Missoula and I was waiting on permits there. And I'm sitting in the sleeper. I kind of leaned back. I was like, no, I got to get up. I'm going to fall asleep right here. It is just comfortable. I got the air conditioning on. It's a little warm outside. Which is kind of funny because I was talking to my dad a little bit ago. And I guess shortly after I left this morning, it started snowing up at his house. So he's getting snow over there. I'm just a couple hundred miles away, just having a beautiful, just perfect day. And you couldn't ask for a nicer day. So I thought that was kind of funny, but that's really holds true to what they say in Montana. If you don't like the weather, wait a couple hours. It'll change on you, and it does. But it's just been, I've had smooth sailing all day. I couldn't be more happy. So, but we are right now 450 miles from delivery. I'm 154 miles from Spokane, which is about 2.5 hours or so. So I should be into Spokane about 4 o'clock. I got to meet the guy there for a few minutes, and then I'm going to head on over. I'm going to make it as far as probably Ellensburg tonight, and then come tomorrow morning, I'll run from Ellensburg on into Seattle and go get delivered there. I'm actually going up to Snohomish, which is on the north end of town between Seattle and Everett there. So get in there, get her kicked off, and then get ready to go get the next load, which I already know what I'm doing, but that'll be a surprise. I'm not going to spoil you guys on the next video yet. So, pretty excited about it. I had considered throwing the camera on the outside out here. You guys have seen this road a lot of times. Also, Missy has my other external camera, so I can't do the whole thing right now. I need to get that back from her. I guess she's been doing some filming, which she's going to be getting her own camera pretty soon, so she can do her thing. I know she's working on trying to get some videos edited so you guys can see some stuff on her channel, which when she gets that set up, I will let you know. But yeah, I know she's headed to the East Coast right now on a run, so probably won't be bumping into her for a few weeks yet. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to be doing this. So we're almost done at the first run here. You know, tomorrow afternoon she'll be off the trailer and it'll be on to the next thing. And, over the weekend here, I'm gonna get to run down and go to Jubit's, and I like going to Jubit's. You know, it has been a good place. I haven't been to Jubit's in a long time. It used to be one of the places I'd go all the time. We'd be out there pretty frequently. Sometimes, you know, once or twice a week, I'd be in there. And I haven't been there for quite a few years now. So I mean, I've been through Portland several times, but just haven't had the occasion to go over there. So it'll be neat to see how, if the place is still similar or not. We're just going to have to find out. I think it reminds me of a story from a few years ago. I was still just getting started. I just bought my first truck. I didn't have a trailer yet, and there's this yard across the street from Jubit's there. They got all these trailers all over there, right? And I went in there, and I'd had some money saved, and I was really looking at buying this curtain van they had in there. It was a 48 foot. It was I can't remember if it was a Wilson or a Western. I think it was a Western. But it was a nice curtain van. I had the bank, you know, on my side for going and getting a loan. I was all set up, was going to do it. And, you know, because the trailer I was pulling was this just miserable pile of garbage Transcraft. And so I walked over there across the street, and I didn't see anybody around the lot. And I walked down to see if there was anybody out there, and I was standing there looking at the trailer. And this salesman, he just came out and chewed my ass for not coming and finding him. Just royally got into me. And, well, I offered him some words of what he could go do with himself. And as I was walking out, I told him, by the way, I was already pre-approved to buy that trailer. I'd seen it online. But I'll be damned if I buy anything now. And I didn't. I walked. I left. He wound up kind of chasing after me. You know, it was funny. Because, I mean, I'm sure he just thought I was some punk kid. Because I was only, you know, 20... I would have been 22 at the time. Yeah, I'd have been 22 years old at the time. So, you know, I still look like a little snot-nosed kid to him, I'm sure, but, you know, you never know when you're a sales guy who's walking through your front door. I mean, I said I had 10% down, which is what my bank wanted. You know, I'd already talked to the banker about it. The banker was on board. And, yeah, that was, I think I'll have to tell that story in the next video here. I'll show you guys the whole deal on that. It is now day 4 of this load, Saturday morning, and I was planning on being a little bit further down the road. I stopped in Spokane last night, went in and got the paint matched on the trailer, did the just went out there with the paint chip book and found one that's really close to it. And with that, I was sitting over there, I ran across the street to Zips and got a hamburger and got back to the truck and was like, you know, I'm going to go take a little nap. And I figured I'd fall asleep for an hour or two. I woke up at about 2:30 in the morning, and I promptly went back to sleep. So, been under a whole lot of stress making all this happen. I've really been stressed out. It's just been driving me crazy, and now that the truck's on the road again, you know, I've got this load in the bag now. The next one, I already know where I'm going to pick up. I already know that I'm making some money again now. It's like all that stress just melted off yesterday, and I passed out pretty hard. I did. I needed it. So, feeling pretty good now. Actually, I feel great now. I didn't really want to get up this morning. I was wanting to sleep in a little bit later, but had to get up to go get this thing delivered. So, I'm just going through the Medical Lake area right now. I'm going to run across. Didn't get a chance to download any cameras or anything last night, so I'm not going to do any external footage, which you guys have seen this snow palm me run time and time again, so I don't know that I really need to show it to you, because we've been over this road quite a bit. I might, you know, in the next few videos do something like that, but for this one here, just time constraints and what I've got going on, and I'm just getting myself back to feeling better, because, man, I was really stressing over this deal, because it cost more money than I was planning on having it cost. And by the time you add everything up, I've spent just a touch under $100,000 in the last 45 days to do all this. So it's been a big deal. It's been a huge undertaking. It's been well worth it. Already making way better money than I was with it. That extra axle and the new trailer are really coming through for me. And we are done. We are delivered, and it feels damn good. I'm really happy to be where I am. We're gonna go and go meet up with a friend tonight, go hang out, and then I'm gonna go and get on down to Portland tomorrow and do my thing down there, and I will be then heading on over to the next load. So we'll catch up with you guys from there. If you enjoyed the video, you can go in and you can check out others that I have. This will be the first with this trailer running a big heavy load like this, but I do have many other RGN videos if you're new to the channel, so you can check those out. You guys can also tweet me, email me. All the links are in the description below. And I do answer my emails. Sometimes I'm a little slow about it, but I do. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.